The website that you are currently seeing is keepamericagreat.com. Why, that's Donald Trump's re-election slogan. But the website says Trump is a fraud and a failure. Tom Steyer. Now, most of you probably don't know who Tom Steyer is, and I don't blame you. Most people don't know who he is. But he's a rich guy who is running for president, and he's running ads against the president. Many people might be confused as to how he managed to get a hold of Donald Trump's campaign slogan website. Well, as Tom would tell you, you see, Donald Trump forgot to buy the domain and how he snatched it up. This goes back to a similar story where the Trump campaign, I believe it was a Trump campaign, bought Joe Biden's Latino outreach slogan, and it went viral. And everybody mocked Joe Biden. It was a huge blunder. However, Donald Trump's campaign did not forget to buy this. Tom Steyer is lying, and he knows he's lying because he had to have purchased the domain from the anti-Trump activists who owned it going back to 2015. You see, what really happened is that when Donald Trump launched his campaign, some anti-Trump activists bought Keep America Great as a counter to Make America Great, sold merchandise, and said they wanted to stop Donald Trump. Apparently, at some point, Trump's people, knowing that the anti-Trump activists had the slogan, decided to use it anyway. If anything, Trump trolled these anti-Trump activists by taking their anti-Trump slogan and turning it into a pro-Trump slogan. You know why this is one of the most epic trolls? I kid you not. They are so desperate to troll Donald Trump that they make things up. But I tell you this, what Trump's campaign did, whether it was on purpose or an accident, was brilliant. I'm not talking about policy. I'm talking about strategy and politics. Listen to what I am going to say to you. Anti-Trump activists. That's the wrong one. Anti-Trump. So this is for those that are watching, this is the placeholder from 2004. But here's the website. Take a look at this. They were selling T-shirts that said, Keep America Great, back in 2015. Donald Trump and his team had to have known about this because they typically buy up domains very quickly. They pull the rug out from under their opponents. So I can only assume when they started selling this merchandise and these hats, guess what Trump did? His campaign said, let's just use it. Let's use it for re-election. Let's claim Trump did his job and we'll keep America great. And guess what? Every single shirt, every hat, every mug, whatever they sold now becomes a pro-Trump piece of merchandise. I don't know how much was sold, if any was sold, but I tell you this. Some of it says stop Trump. Some of it says dump Donald. Okay, fine. This one right here, Keep America Great, Stop the Hate. That's not necessarily anti-Trump. And the picture is just Trump looking silly. That's about it. Think about all of the anti-Trump activists who were buying these. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't really. Maybe they sold nothing. Maybe they really bought some of this. Now think about those people who have these hats, CAG hats. Literally a pro-Trump hat. Donald Trump took anti-Trump activist merchandise and turned it into pro-Trump re-election merchandise. So here's what happens. We have this story from the Daily Caller. Media outlets reported that Tom Steyer's campaign trolled Trump's campaign, but they buried a major detail. While it seems like, to an extent, Politico and The Hill did cover this story almost good enough, they missed. It's mind-blowing to me how bad the media is. And I hate to say that because I think The Hill does a really great job, okay? Especially Sager, I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I'm sorry, and Crystal Ball. It's the Rising show. You really should watch it because it's like Crystal's pretty progressive, Sager's probably pretty conservative, and it's a really great and fair and honest show, and I think they do a fantastic job. And I was on it recently. But The Hill apparently didn't. These media outlets just report things uncritically. And here's what happened. The Steyer campaign purchased the domain Keep America Great in an apparent attempt to turn the tables on Trump. This is from the Daily Caller, who have previously purchased political opponents' would-be websites. Keep America Great is Trump's re-election slogan for 2020. Quote, Trump's campaign prides itself on hoarding websites for political opponents, of political opponents. But they forgot to pick up the URL for their signature re-election slogan, Keep America Great. Steyer's campaign claimed in a statement. Fake news. Steyer would have had to have bought the domain from the anti-Trump activists who owned it. So I can only assume Steyer is lying. They are so desperate to get some kind of win, to own Trump, but they fail at every turn, so they lie. Let me tell you what really happened. This is Steyer trying to cover up what may be actually one of the biggest blunders in political history. And I mean it. Now look, we can argue about whether or not Donald Trump did this on purpose. But I'm sick and tired of the conversation being Donald Trump slipped on a banana peel and pulled off a perfect backflip on accident. Every single time something happens in this ridiculously amazing way that benefits Trump, they say, that wasn't on purpose. Trump's not strategizing this. You don't got to think Trump is doing it, but Trump's got a team of people who are smart, who are internet savvy, who are clever people. The Trump campaign. Let me reiterate for you why this was so, like, I sat here kind of dumbfounded, like, I can't believe he pulled that off. I didn't know about this until Tom Steyer came out. In reality, it's not that Donald Trump was trolled. It's that Donald Trump turned anti-Trump merchandise into pro-Trump merchandise. Okay, I got to say it again because I really got to drive this home. Tom Steyer, what he's really doing, in my opinion, is trying to cover up the fact. Now he probably just wanted to buy it and make Trump look bad because he knows people might go to the site. But think about how this would have looked in reality if people started pushing the story like, whoa, I didn't know Trump did that. So he buys the site because he knows people are going to start looking it up. Well, I'm not going to assume why he did what he did. I'm not even convinced Trump did it on purpose, but I tell you, here are the circumstances. Activists launched a website, Keep America Great, back in 2015, selling merchandise that says, Keep America Great. Women's Liberty Tea. Not all of it is anti-Trump. Stop the hate. What does that really mean? I don't know. Could Trump like people say the liberals are hateful? That mug could work for Trump. So here's what happens. They launch the website. Donald Trump at some point decides Keep America Great will be his re-election slogan. According to a statement from Tim Murtaugh, he said, do they have his quote here? Well, he tweeted, Tom Steyer is lying about the site being available, and media shouldn't buy the fake news. Anyone curious could find out in 3 seconds. The Trump-hating website went up in 2015, way before the 2016 election. It's been a hater site for 4 years, and I think Politico has the actual quote from. Okay, yeah. So Tom Steyer is lying about the availability of this website. He knows it. The site was created in 2015, well before the election. So that's basically just a tweet. So that's Tim McMurdo he's Trump's campaign guy, I think. So okay. Let's go through the details. Activists set up this Trump-hating website selling merchandise that says Keep America Great. Trump decides to use the slogan, which they claim they knew about, and I'm going to have to bet, listen, man, they jumped the gun on a bunch of political opponents' domains. They're internet savvy. They make memes, Trump trolls. I think they know how the digital system economy works. If Joe Biden comes out and said, his Latino slogan, and they immediately jumped and bought that domain, I can only imagine one of the first things they did when they said, what should our re-election slogan be, was to look up keepamericagreat.com. And you can see, lo and behold, they're selling merchandise. And it's not, some of it says stop Trump, dump Donald. Okay, fine. But some of this just says Keep America Great. So I really want to drive this home. Assuming people bought some of this, because it does say sold out, at least on one of the shirts, right? I don't know, is this on archive? These people now own pro-Trump merchandise. By choosing to use that slogan, anybody who bought any of this would now be walking around in support of the president. They might still claim they hate him. They have the hashtag dump Donald, but people are going to be confused. I'm willing to bet people threw these shirts away. Activists launched a campaign to hurt the president. He adopted their slogan, turning their merchandise in his favor. You want to argue with me? Trump did not do it on purpose. I think it's fine. It would be crazy to me to think like that's such a genius power play. I can't believe it. I really can't. And I really want to assume it was just an accident. I really do. Deep down inside, I think about this. I'm like, there's no way they did this on purpose. But then I got to think about how they do buy these domains. I have to imagine when they were looking at using slogans, they checked a bunch of domains. Listen, man, I've run a bunch of different companies. I own lots of websites. I can't tell you when you're sitting down going through the process of coming up with brand names, slogans, domain purchases. We go through like a list of 100 and we search through all of them to figure out what they are and if we can use them and if they're appropriate. So I can only imagine out of the list of various slogans, and you got to recognize too, this is the president, okay? Their reelection campaign is using high-powered marketing and brand people. They got some of the best paid people in the world, some of the smartest internet people in the world. They go through a list of all the things they could say, and they choose the anti-Trump activist website. And I ask, why would that be? And now it's simple. They've got all of these anti-Trump t-shirts now being pro-Trump. They said, you know what? Let's use this one, because once Trump says this is his slogan, people walking around in these shirts are going to take those shirts off and throw them in the trash. Or the people who keep them will now have in their homes pro-Trump merchandise. And they probably laughed. Like that meme, I don't know what movie it's from, where they're smoking the cigars and laughing. Look, man, Trump is a troll. They know how to troll the press. They know how to do this. Like, I part of me can't believe they pulled off something so masterful. But when I look at what they've done, when I look at the media being trolled and I look how successful they've been, I'm sorry, man. And so what ends up happening is Daily Caller is basically calling out other media outlets because they're essentially saying Politico and The Hill are uncritically reporting what Tom Steyer said. Nah, you know what I think? Tom Steyer probably bought it just because it was Trump's slogan. But it's also covering up what really happened. In essence, the chain of events ends with a Streisand effect. Now, because he did this, and because we are looking to what this website was to prove if he was right, if he's telling the truth or not, we learn that not only is Tom Steyer lying, I can only presume he's lying, okay? Because if he bought this from the anti-Trump activists, he had to know that, and he's rich, so he probably dumped a ridiculous amount of money into it. But now he's Streisand affected the whole thing, and we can now see what really happened. It may have been no big deal to Trump and his campaign back, 2016, 2017, whenever he decided to use Keep America Great. They were probably just like, that'd be funny. These shirts would be pro-Trump. Anyway, just buy it. It wasn't a big a deal. Keep America Great was not a very, very big website. Most people didn't know what it was. And now because of Tom Steyer, we're like, whoa, did Trump just destroy an anti-Trump activist business by turning them into Trump supporters? That's what it sounds like to me. But by all means, keep believing that Trump, his campaign, his high-powered consultants, Cambridge Analytica, it's all a big accident. Trump's just walking down the street and there's a banana peel and he slips on it but does a perfect backflip. Look, man, I'm not saying Donald Trump is a genius, but I am saying that these people are paid a lot of money. He hires these companies that know what they're doing and they are clever. That's why they get paid so much money, and that's why Donald Trump is the president. You can think Trump is a buffoon or a fool, and that's fine. Because if that's your opinion, then so be it. But you got to recognize, too, he got money, and he's got fans, and he can hire smart people to do things for him. Oh, surprise, surprise. Look, man, I think the Trump campaign is pulling off some of the biggest trolls and reversals and flips. Now, I do think Trump is pretty smart in some regards. His downfall is his arrogance and his narcissism, right? Trump seems to be able to come up with some decent strategies and counter moves, and he's got some good people around him and some bad people around him. He's got a lot of bad people around him, but he's got some smart people working for him. His problem is that he becomes arrogant and narcissistic. But you know what? That might be the bigger accident. You want to act like everything Trump is doing was just a bumbling mistake? I just don't buy it, man. It's like, if you believe that, go buy a lottery ticket, because how many times does it need to happen that Trump accidentally succeeds? Sure, his whole life was one big accident, and now he's the president. That would make for a great movie. A guy bumbling around, and he keeps bumping into somebody who then something happens, and then he falls into a sewer, and he finds a pot of gold. I don't know. I just don't buy it. You don't got to think he's the smartest guy in the world, but it's clear that him and his people have a general understanding of this. His big problem, and I'll wrap it up with this, is his arrogance. And that might benefit him. That might be the true bumbling accident, because it's made the media obsessed with him. His arrogant, narcissistic behavior, maybe not narcissistic, but egotistical, right? And I know people like Trump. I have dealt with these wealthy, multimillionaire, people worth hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. I've seen the attitude, okay? And it's an attitude that spells, I know what I have to do, get out of my way, stop wasting my time. That's really, really good if you want to be a billionaire and a CEO. It's why they became billionaires and CEOs. It's why Donald Trump became president. It can cause negative effects when people sour on you because of it. I have seen some pretty powerful people who did no wrong get accused, and instead of just having a calm, reasonable discussion to like defuse the situation, said, "How dare you? You know who I am," that kind of attitude. So Donald Trump takes things personally. He does. However, that might be the accident that helps him, because a lot of people like that Trump pushes back and tells people to go F themselves and says, calls him horse face. A lot of people think, they look at him and they're like, good. That's who, they say they want to be negotiating against Kim Jong-un or Russia or Iran. So there you go, man. I'll wrap it up. I wake up to the story and I'm like, they can't see it, can they? They just literally can't see that he's running around in circles. Look, man, you want to call it 4D chess. That's not always. It just so happens that there are several instances where Trump did something and it's hilarious. Okay? Keep America Great was not a huge website. It wasn't in the press, but they still know how to trip up their enemies. And so Tom Steyer is trying desperately to get one of those wins. So he lies. Trump forgot to buy it. No. No, dude, all you did was reveal the masterful trolling of the Trump campaign, turning anti-Trump activists into pro-Trump activists. Bravo, Streisand effect. I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then.